All right, what's up, everyone? My name is Jonathan. This is Comic Book Cinema, and today I'm joined by three brand new guests, brand new to the show. Would you like to start us off with the introductions, Mr. 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞?
My name is 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞. I'm bad at this sort of stuff. You know, we're here doing the thing.
But you got that legendary beard, man.
Yeah.
You look like a Viking warlord.
Man, it's a product of laziness, to be more, to be very honest. But
Hey, you might can fool somebody else with that, but you're not fooling me, buddy. There's no way. It takes way more effort to get that stash and everything perfect. You're not fooling me with that laziness. And this, by the way, this is Mr. Darren. I have been on his podcast before, but Darren, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, so what's up? I'm Darren. I'm an Aries, and I'm so happy to be here on Comic Book Cinema. Fun times. I like guitars. I don't hang them on my wall. I put Ghostbusters license plates up there. Nice to meet you. Hashtag the M6B. That's all I have. Right.
Josh, what's up, man?
Nothing much. How you guys doing? Appreciate you letting me be here. I do have mine hanging on the wall. I get one small room, so I'm lucky that I get that. And I have stuff crammed in here, and I'm just glad you can't see the rest of the room because it is a mess. So
I hear you there, man. Hey, I'm very lucky that I have a wife that allows me to hang this in the living room of our house.
Well, I mean, it's a DC poster. No wonder.
This is like my little section right over here. All this right here is my little section of the living room. So it's my shrine, if you will. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, guys, today we're here to discuss the new Spider-Man No Way Home trailer that just dropped. I think the biggest thing probably on everyone's mind here today would have to be, where was Tobey and Andrew in this trailer, right?
yes.
I still had my questions and doubts whether or not they would be in the trailer, but 90% of me was like, they're going to put these guys in the trailer. That's the best and biggest way to sell tickets to this movie. The mainstream world outside of the little bubble that we live in doesn't really know about this, like they don't know that Tobey is going to be in this movie, and they don't know that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is going to be in this film. Sometimes it's hard for us to realize things like that because we get so caught up in this and all the news that we read all the time and all the different YouTube channels that we follow or whatever. The mainstream world probably doesn't have any idea that they're going to see Tobey Maguire in this movie. I was kind of shocked that they didn't have Tobey. Apparently that was something between Disney and Sony arguing and debating on whether or not they were going to put Tobey and Andrew in this trailer. So what do you guys think? Do you think it was a bad move, good move? What do you think?
I mean, honestly, I think it was probably a good move. They seem to do that kind of thing where they hold out, and then they'll throw it right at the end because they know the diehard fans are really looking to see that, and they're like, they're going to hold on. They're going to wait and see what's going to happen. And I think they're just trying to pique our interest and all the theories and stuff that's going on around us. Everybody's Easter eggs and stuff, trying to get people talking and trying to figure out what they're going to do. So I think it's their way of getting people talking about it.
I basically have this rule where I don't watch trailers, right? So I broke that rule just for this. So like I have a thing where I just don't watch trailers because I feel like it ruins too much of the movie for me or whatever. This has been like 8 years I've been doing this, and like I agree. Like I was like I really wish we could have actually seen, Tobey, and Andrew, but it would have been great because I mean, growing up, obviously Tobey was, for me, he was Spider-Man. So exactly. So like, he I don't know, it would have been good to see, but on the other side, I am glad that they did leave it out to at least leave a little bit of like, mystery there on it. So
I get why they did it, but from a business standpoint, if I was vice president of financial relations or whatever for Sony, I would be screaming in that office meeting. I'd be like, hey guys, we got to put these guys in the trailer because this movie, there's already going to be a lot of interest for it because it's Spider-Man. Spider-Man is one of the most mainstream superheroes, if not the most mainstream superhero. But we got to put these guys in this trailer. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. What are you thinking, Darren? You think it was a good move?
No, I'm glad they kept them out. And they also have too many villains already. Like Disney hasn't figured out the formula with like multiple like characters that are we favorite. They figured out the formula for characters that we don't care about a lot, and they make shows about them. But anyway, so as far as the trailer goes, like with the villains and everything, it's great. We have Michael Keaton, we have Jamie Foxx, all these cats showing up, and like I mean, who knows who's coming really? So they're all showing up and everything, and it's like, all right, well, that's too many characters on the villain standpoint. And I mean, sure, it's nice to say we want Tobey and Andrew to both show up, and they probably are. They're probably definitely in it, but there's a lot of characters here. I'm scared about this because Disney's just trying to like play on to like, oh, and sell toys. They're just trying to play onto this. Like, we're going to dump all these characters in here right at once. And like, if it works, great. Why wouldn't we want to see a Spider-Man movie with the Sinister Six? They're rushing stuff, and they're rushing it really fast. So that's my only concern.
I guess I haven't thought about it that way, but you know, it's one of those things. If Disney, now I'm sorry, not Disney, if Warner Brothers was if Warner Brothers was doing something like this, which they are with the Flash film that's coming out, I think 2023, maybe 2022, at some point next year or the year after, I have a lot more pause when it comes to Wonder Woman. I mean, Warner Brothers doing something like this because of their spotty track record. You know what I'm saying? They put out a few movies every once in a blue moon that are, you know, awesome, really good. They put everything together nicely, but most of the time their movies are going to be a Birds of Prey or, you know, a Green Lantern, Wonder Woman 84. And that's what, you know, shakes our faith in them. But when you look at Marvel, it is very hard for my faith to be shaken because of what Kevin Feige and that team have done so far. Now, I have heard, I think it was even on your YouTube show, Darren, you guys are starting to question the direction and some of the things that have come out recently, which is fair.
A lot of the M6Bers have thought that. So, yeah.
Some of those Disney Plus shows are starting to, the quality level is not quite, you know, where it was at. But I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but I personally had a really good time with Loki. And I thought that Falcon and the Winter Soldier was action-packed. Yeah, sure, some of the political aspects of that show were a little, I mean, that's something that kind of always gets put in, you know, not just comic books, but comic book movies, media in general, you know. So whether or not we agree with the politics of it all. Also, I really enjoyed WandaVision. It started off slow, but then it kind of picked back up. And so ultimately, you know, those three shows, if I had to rank them as Marvel movies, I would probably have them somewhere in the 6.5 to 7 neighborhood, you know, respectively. They might be a little different each one. But so I guess that being said, that would be on the lower tier of what we have so far in the Marvel movie world for me, because the lowest one for me was probably like a 7, maybe a 6.5 with, see, Thor: The Dark World was not even that terrible to me, honestly. I can see that argument, and I can see why people are thinking that the quality's starting to dip a bit, but I still trust in Feige, man. I have total and complete utter faith that everything's going to work out just fine. They've handled so many characters on screen at once before with Endgame and Infinity War, so I don't see why it would be a problem now. What do you guys think?
We're going to find out. So, I mean,
an interesting point was brought up earlier. I think it was by Mr. Doty. So Tobey Maguire is your all-time favorite Spider-Man.
I guess.
Mine too. There.
Yeah. Like,
I'm not scared.
I do like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, though. I do. So
yeah.
I think just that he was the first in that age, like when they started bringing out really, you know, good quality. I mean, because you had those really campy, you know, look like a TV, you know, 70s. And then that was when they first brought out. So, I mean, I think that's why it's like that original. You know, when you have these movies and they remake them, it's like, no, the older one was better. That original was better. So I think that's why. I mean, I love Tom Holland as well, and I think he does a great job. But I mean, it's just, that was the first one, you know, so it's kind of.
And I get that. And I was big into comic book movies when I was a kid, you know, even with the Keaton Batman movies and the Christopher Reeve Superman films. But my first like big experience in it with a modern Marvel movie was the first Avengers movie. And a lot of my friends, whenever I have that like number one on my list, they always debate me about that. They think that that's just because of the nostalgia. And it kind of is, you know, like that was so cool seeing all those characters come together for the first time. So maybe that's the very reason that they're not putting Tobey and Andrew in this trailer, because they don't want to ruin that little, you know, sweetness, that special moment for us. You know, I mean, it'll sell a lot more tickets, in my opinion, but it's a Spider-Man film and word's going to get out regardless, you know, once it hits the opening weekend. So, I mean, I guess I kind of get why they didn't put that moment in the trailer, because the first time seeing that on screen is going to be something magical. What did you guys like overall? Do you think that the trailer accomplished what it needed to accomplish?
No. There's too many characters. They're going to mess this up. I'm telling you, there's so many characters. They're going to mess this up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I agree. Like, how do you give everybody the time that they need to have in this to really make it work? But it's it's exactly that. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's just going to be, I think if they do it nonstop action, just nonstop, 100% full tilt, everybody will just gloss over the things in the beginning that are wrong. I don't know, maybe that's optimistic, but
I mean, I definitely agree in that as well, because it's really hard to, I mean, I think we're talking about Tobey Maguire in that original, and I think that is one of the things that kind of messed up, you know, besides some of the Spawn expectations in Spider-Man 3. I think it was so many villains, it kind of hurt it a little, and I do worry that it will be messed up by the fact that you have so many characters. Man, I agree. I hope Feige going to do a great job, and I hope that we can pull that together. But I mean, it's always a worry.
Let me ask you guys this. So in Infinity War, when you look at Infinity War and Endgame, you know, you didn't necessarily have a whole lot of villains, but you did have the Black Order, right? And you also had Thanos, and you also had even Red Skull for a brief moment or two. So that's quite a few villains there, not to mention all the heroes that we had in those films. I mean, it must have been 20 plus heroes in that. You know, they've probably, the way they handled it though, you know, they didn't focus on all the heroes the whole entire film, especially for Endgame. They kind of focused on the core group that was left behind after the snap. So maybe they'll find a way to make it work in that aspect, you know, like, so they don't have the daunting task of focusing on Andrew, Tobey, and then all the villains too. I think it's going to be a scenario where they kind of come out towards the end in the third act of the film. You know, I think that mainly or ultimately, and I might be completely wrong, but this is just my speculation, but I think that they're probably going to focus on Andrew, obviously. And then, you know, his decision or the fact that his identity came out, you know, and now everyone knows that he's Spider-Man. It's probably going to be a tale about, not Andrew.
Tom.
I said Andrew earlier. Tom Holland, his girlfriend, MJ, and you know, Doctor Strange thrown in there as kind of like a mentor figure to Spider-Man. But I could be wrong. You never know. The first opening act of the film, you might see Andrew and Tobey pop out. So we all think about film differently. I might go into this and I might hate it, and you guys might love it. You never know. But I think that we all have a set of expectations that we want them to meet. Some of us think about Spider-Man in a different way, and some of us have, you know, so some of us are more open to interpretation and things like that. But ultimately, I just cannot, guys, as a fan, I cannot wait to see that moment in theaters when we see Tobey, Andrew, and Tom all together. All three of us, I think, can agree on that that's just going to be epic.
Why is nobody talking about Paul Giamatti? Is he going to come back as the rhinoceros? Like, is he coming? I think I want Rhino back. I don't care about Sandman and all those silly gooses like Willem Dafoe or whatever. I want Rhino back. Paul Giamatti. He was at the beginning and the ending of the second movie, and that's all we saw.
Yeah,
I want to see more Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti's a good actor.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was his role in that movie was hilariously short, and also like it made you question like why they even bothered putting him in the film if,
Right.
if they were only going to use him for 5 minutes, maybe even less than that, and they kind of made him goofy. But I think you're right. I think he could do a lot more with that role for sure. I think that there's a possibility we could see all kinds of crazy villains that we never. What would be hilarious to me, and I thought about this the other day, is if we saw the Topher Grace Venom come out and then all of a sudden,
No.
wait, just hear me out.
Okay, I will.
Okay, Topher Grace Venom pops up and he's trying to be threatening and everything, and then the Tom Hardy Venom just eats him or something like that. That would be awesome if we saw something like that.
All right, I'm in.
I'm still super excited about the film. I think at this point, us hardcore fans, there's nothing more you can do to get us excited. I mean, yeah, sure, if we saw Tobey and Andrew in the trailer, it might make us a little bit more excited, but either way, we're going to go see this film opening weekend. Guys, let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on the trailer. Do you think they should have put Tobey in the trailer? Do you think that we should have seen Andrew as well? Let us know in the comments below. Does anybody have anything they want to plug?
The M6P. I'm done. After that, that's all I have.
It's the m6p.com, right, Darren?
I think so.
And you can also
I'm
look
just
them,
joking. Yeah, it's that.
and you
We're
can
also on Facebook. We're also on Facebook. Yeah.
Heck yeah. And you can also find them on YouTube too. I've been on their show once or twice now to be exact. So these guys served as an inspiration for me to finally just start doing this. You know, I've talked about it until I turned blue in the face, and my wife got tired of hearing me talk about it all the time. So she was just like, she challenged me. She was like, why don't you just do it? Stop talking about it and do it. So I was like, you know what? I think I will. So
and look at you now. Now you have a DC poster next to a Baby Groot statue. Your backgrounds are improving, Jonathan. You're on it.
Hey,
Jared will be proud. Jared will be proud.
There's nothing wrong with liking the DC world, Darren. There's
I
nothing
know.
wrong.
I love it. The Snyder Cut's better than most of the Marvel movies. All of it. I can't believe I'm saying this. Oops. No, Snyder Cut beats a lot of the Marvel movies. So that's a whole other show. We'll get onto that. But anyway,
We need to talk about that. That's definitely a whole episode right there.
Yeah, it definitely is though.
Heck yeah. Hey, I will say that the Snyder Cut made everything that they were trying to do in the Justice League make a whole lot more sense, for sure.
You're right.
Hey guys, thank you for joining me. Until next time, have a good one.